Okay, so we have reviewed the 4 steps that we are going to follow whenever we are trying to round a number. Today we're rounding 2-digit numbers to the nearest 10. So our steps are, step 1, we're going to find our benchmarks. That's going to be the tens number that comes before and the tens number that comes after our number. Step 2 is find the midpoint. That's going to be the middle between those 2 benchmarks. Step 3 is to find your number. So the number that you are trying to round, we're going to figure out where it goes on that number line using the midpoint to help us. And then step 4 is we're going to round. That means we're going to see what our number is closer to. All right, guys, so on our paper, we are going to skip a couple of lines. So if I come underneath where I wrote round, I'm going to skip that blue line, and I'm going to come down to the next blue line, and I'm going to go about to the middle of my paper there. It doesn't have to be perfect, but I want you to write the 2-digit number 37. So we're skipping a line just to give us a little space, and we're writing the number 37. Today we want to round this 2-digit number 37 to the nearest 10. All right, guys, I want you to give me a secret signal when you know what digit is in the tens place. Give me a secret signal when you know what digit is in the tens place. Put your answer in your hand. All right, let's release. All right, let me ask the question one more time. I did not say the value. I said what digit. Let's try that again. Secret signal when you know what digit is in the tens place. Put your answer in your hand. Let's release.
3.
Very good. The 3 is in the tens place. Would you underline the 3 in the tens place, please? Okay. Now I'm going to skip a couple of lines. I'm going to skip this blue line underneath where I wrote 37, and I'm going to come down to the next blue line, and I'm going to trace that blue line to make my number line. It helps me make a really nice, straight, open number line. The arrows at the end of our number line are there to help us remember that numbers get smaller forever and larger forever. Now we're going to say the number 37, and we're going to say the tens part of our number very loudly. And we're going to say the ones part of our number very quietly today. And that's going to help us figure out our benchmark that comes before. That would be our first benchmark. All right, so we're going to say the number 37. We're going to say the tens part loudly and the ones part quietly. Here we go.
37. 30.
Very good. So what is the value, or what tens number is going to be our first benchmark? Yes. Very good. 30. So I'm going to go ahead and write that down. So in our number, it really helped us to see the tens number that comes before. Okay? What is 10 more? 40. Okay, go. Get some water. Do you need some water? All right, step 2. Do it real big with me. Find the midpoint. Okay, so the midpoint, we have already found the benchmarks. That was step 1. Step 2 is to find the midpoint. That's going to be the number that would be right in the middle. I want you to hold up 10 fingers. We are holding up 10 fingers because we know from 30 to 40 is 10 spaces. Okay, so that's what our 10 fingers are helping us to see right now, those 10 spaces. All right, let's take half of them away. One more time, put 10 up. Let's take half of them away. How many fingers do you see?
5.
5. So we know that the halfway, or the midpoint, is going to have a 5 in the ones place. What is our number going to be for our midpoint today? Everybody.
35.
35. Okay, so step 1 was to find the benchmarks. Step 2 is to find the midpoint. All right, real big with me, guys. Step number 3, find your number. We're going to figure out where our number goes on this number line. Now, our number is 37. I'm going to use the midpoint to help me figure out where 37 would go. Is 37 less than 35? Or is 37 greater than 35? Greater. Okay, so in fact, if I start at 35 and count on, what would come after 35? 36, and then the next spot over would be 37. So let's go ahead and add that to our number line. All right, so we are finally at step number 4. Real big with me, guys. Step 4, round. That means we're going to see what our number is closer to. Which one of these tens our number is closer to? Is 37 closer to 30? Or is 37 closer to 40? 40. Okay, so let's draw a little arrow here showing that we see that 37, because it's on this half of our number line, it's closer to 40. In fact, how far away from 40 is 37?
3.
Good. It is 3 spaces away. Just for fun, how far is 37 from 30?
7.
How far away?
7.
7. So we can see that it is definitely closer to be 3 spaces away than 7 spaces away. So the last step I want us to do to kind of show why we know 37 rounds to 40, we're going to wrap this up with a little summary sentence. Okay? So we're going to say that our number 37 rounds to 40 because it is 3 away. Okay. Your turn. All right, we're going to try again with another 2-digit number. This time we're going to use the number 62. So I'm going to skip a couple of lines and go ahead and draw my open number line. All right, guys, I want big motion. I want some enthusiasm here. Step 1, find the benchmarks. That means we are going to find the tens number that comes before and after our number today. To help us do that, we're going to take a look at our number. Give me a secret signal when you know which digit is in the tens place. Which digit is in the tens place? Put your answer in your hand. Let's release.
6.
Very good. The 6 is in the tens place. So I'm going to put a little mark to underline the tens place. Now we're going to say the number 62. We're going to say the tens part a little louder, and we're going to say the ones part a little quieter, and that's going to help us think about our benchmark that comes before the number 62. All right, you ready? Here we go. 60.
60.
All right, so what is our benchmark that will come before 62?
60.
Good, 60. What is 10 more?
70.
70. So step 1 is to find our benchmarks, our tens numbers that our number comes in between. Real big with you guys. Step 2. Find the midpoint. The midpoint is the middle. Hold up your 10 fingers. We know that 60 is 10 away from 70. Let's take half away. How many do you have left? 5. So whatever that midpoint number is, we know it's going to have a 5 in the ones place. What number is our midpoint going to be today?
65.
65. Step 3. Say real loud with me. Find your number. So we're going to use all of these benchmarks and our midpoint to help us figure out where our number would go. Our number is 62. Is 62 less than 65 or is 62 greater than 65? Less. Very good. In fact, if we start at 60, let's count on and see. We would have 60. What would come next? 61, 62. Good. So 62 would be about here on our number line. And step 4, round. Very good. So we're going to see what our number is closer to. Is 62 closer to 60 or is 62 closer to 70?
62.
Very good. So we're going to draw our little arrow showing that we know it's going to round to 60. It's closer to 60. In fact, how far away from 60 is it? 2. How far away is 62 from 70?
8.
Yes. If you know how to make your 10, then we know that we can add 8 more to 62 to make the next 10 70. So it's definitely closer to 60. So we're going to finish up by writing our summary sentence here that 62 rounds to 60 because it is 2 away. All right, I'll let you guys. We're going to take a look at one more 2-digit number today that we would like to round to the nearest 10. We've already got our number line set up. So our first step, step 1, say real loud with me. Find your benchmarks. We are trying to find the tens number that comes before and after our number. Give me a secret signal when you know what digit is in the tens place. What digit is in the tens place? Put your answer in your hand. Let's release.
4.
Very good. The 4 is in the tens place, so let's underline the 4 to help us focus on that. Now we are going to say the number 45. We're going to say the tens loudly, and we're going to say the ones more quietly, and that's going to help us figure out our benchmark that comes before, our tens number that comes before 45. Are you ready? Here we go. 40, 40, 40. So what tens number comes before 45? What tens number comes after? 50. 10 more. Very good. Step 2, real big motions with me. Find the midpoint. Okay, so the midpoint, that is the middle. What is our midpoint going to be for this one? 45. Very good. Are you starting to see a pattern?
Yes.
Good. All right, real big. Do the motions with me. Step 3. Find your number. Our number today is the number 45, so we're going to, uh-oh. Got a little problem here. Our number is the midpoint. Our number is the midpoint. All right, let's see how far away 45 is from 40. How far away is 45 from 40?
5.
Okay, so let's label that we know that that is 5 spaces away. Okay, let's go the other direction. Let's see if it's closer to 50. How far away is 45 from 50? 5 as well. That wasn't very helpful, was it? So 45 is not closer to 40 or 50. It's a tie. It's a tie. It's 5 spaces away from each of these benchmarks. So what do we do? Raise your hand for me if you have ever played a game where you had a tie. Maybe you were playing a card game or a football game and you had a tie. Yeah, it happens all the time. We have these ties. Well, what do you do when there's a tie?
You play again?
Sometimes, but usually when there is a tie, there is a tie breaker. There is something that you do. It might be that you go into overtime, and there are some things that you would do so that they can figure out who the winner would be. Sometimes if we're playing a card game, there might be a special rule that they have included so that we have a tie breaker, because someone's got to be the winner, right? So we have a tie breaker whenever we have this situation happen when we're rounding. Okay, so I want you to add this to your paper. Whoops. It's a tie. .45 is not closer to 40 or 50. It's the same distance. So we need a tiebreaker. And here it is. If we have this situation happen where our number is the midpoint, the tie, then everybody in the whole wide world does this. We always round up. Everybody in Alabaster, everybody in the state of Alabama, everybody in the United States, everybody in the whole world follows this same tiebreaker rule. So, 45 rounds to 50.